My mother-in-law put her hands on me and physically restrained me when I tried to take my baby home.
Whoa. Sure.
You haven't, anyone ever tried to take off one of ours?
No, I can't relate to that.
I feel like they would have brought us back after a while.
Yeah, physically tried to stop. Wow. All I could say is you'd knock the crap out of her, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd probably try. Possible trigger warning for violence and attempted abduction. Kind of. Title: She and the father-in-law have been watching my 13-week-old for a couple of days while I was recovering from a bad upper respiratory infection. It was bad enough to send me to the ER with my oxygen dropping into the low 80s. When I went to get her without my husband, my mother-in-law decided to get on my case about my daughter being gassy. This has been an ongoing thing with them, and I've told them multiple times that not every cry with her is gas and that the pediatrician says she's fine. For whatever reason, she and father-in-law are obsessed with thinking it's gas and trying to fix it. The latest attempt was secretly buying a different kind of bottle to use. I always provided bottles when they watched her because they were advertised as good for colicky babies, which my daughter is not. My mother-in-law refused to listen when I was explaining that the bottle had nothing to do with it, and she kept saying that some random nurses she knew recommended them. I had enough of the conversation and said as much and told my father-in-law to put my daughter in her car seat so I could leave. Mother-in-law said no, and I repeated to give me my damn child. Mother-in-law then got in my face screaming that I can't talk like that in her house, and my baby, of course, starts screaming. I try to go to comfort her, and mother-in-law tells father-in-law to take her to another room and grabs my arm, holding me back and not letting me get near my child. I tried to get her off, but she kept holding me. She had grabbed me hard enough to bruise my inner arm. I threatened to call the cops on her for effectively kidnapping my child at that point. She screamed that if I did, she would have me put on a 72-hour hold. She then shoved me into the corner of the room, so I still couldn't get my daughter, and began berating me. She screamed that I was ungrateful for all they do, that I apparently look down on her, that I don't trust them to care for my daughter, and that because of me, mother-in-law supposedly now has anxiety and blood pressure issues that she needs medication for. At this point, I'm bawling and just wanted my daughter. Mother-in-law continued to berate me and kept me from my daughter until she, mother-in-law, had calmed down, and then she let my father-in-law put her in the car seat and let me take her. Mother-in-law then did a complete 180 and started trying to make small talk like none of that just happened. She then tried to say that she was just protecting my daughter because she didn't want me driving off too fast with her because I was frustrated with them. I told her I'd never put my daughter in harm's way like that and left. My husband doesn't know what to make of the situation. I told him I don't want to be around mother-in-law, and our daughter will not be either. I don't care that they were our only childcare help right now. I don't feel safe around her, and I don't trust her to keep my daughter safe if she's this mentally unstable. My husband is supporting my decision. He hasn't talked to his mum since and is trying to find a time to talk with her about her behaviour and the consequences. It just sucks that this came out of nowhere with her. As I said, they were our help. My family are all 2+ hours away. At this point, I don't know if I'll ever let her see my daughter again. I know if my husband goes no contact permanently, she'll flip shit. From the start, she called him her little ride or die and told me that whatever I do, don't try and come between them. If I asked him to do it to protect our daughter, he would in a heartbeat. Is it crazy of me to ask him if we can move closer to my family?
Yeah, it's not unfair to ask him that. I feel like if you could move closer to her family, it'll give her a little bit more confidence. But and as for the relationship between the mother and the son, let them have that relationship, but I wouldn't include the baby.
I disagree. I think it's gross. Like, there's mums of boys, and then there's hashtag boy mums.
Yeah.
You know, the men who are like giving promise rings to their pubescent daughters, where it's like, your virginity is mine until you one day give it to your husband. Your hashtag boy mums on like Instagram and shit, where it's like, no girlfriend you ever have will ever matter more than me, and I'm always, the number one woman in your life. Like, it's this enmeshment, like it is emotional incest in both cases. It's gross, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but from what I just got from that, the question was, but for a start, if that was me, I wouldn't ever go back to the mother-in-law's place with the baby. I would keep the baby away from her, and I wouldn't trust her not to do it again. But as for the relationship between her husband and his mother, I wouldn't want them to have contact. But at the end of the day, she is his mother. It's on him whether or not he sees her or speaks to her.
By the way, she in general is his responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. You can't she can easily keep the baby from her, from the in-laws, but I mean, she physically can't stop him from seeing them or talking to him. But there's
Well, I don't think it's
their mother.
but I don't think that would be pretty much if you are having to place like give the people in your life like ultimatums like that, then there's already concerns there. If he was wanting to be like, oh well, that's my mother, I'm going to continue to have a relationship with her, that would need to come with the recognition that that's automatically going to be destabilizing in your relationship. Because it's like, okay,
yeah, for sure.
if you're maintaining a relationship with someone who is clearly unsafe and untrustworthy and clearly not recognizing my own rights to my infant child, if that's the company you keep, I'm questioning you now. But in this case, there is some comments saying that he's wanting to talk to her to see whether or not he can get it either in a text message or over the phone to get a recording to see whether or not she admits it. So that way they have physical proof that what she's claiming has happened. Because there is an edit here. Since I can't reply to everyone with the police report, there's an extra layer of concern that was too much to type for the original text. They're best friends with the sheriff for their county, which the incident happened in. So if I file a report, there's almost no way he won't find out about it, and I don't trust that he won't contact my mother-in-law. Even if I report with my local agency, they'd have to forward the report. And with our last name, it's distinct and recognizable. The officers for that department would definitely know who it was, and I'm worried with small town gossip that things would get back to mother-in-law. Oh, corrupt assholes.